Content Financials Manager's view consists of the following applications. You can see here the concept approval form, my inbox, deal memo, milestone achievements, fund flow, inventory recognition, content receipt, and amortization. These are the primary activities which are carried out by a manager or an approver in the Content Financials system. We now look at the concept approval form. This is the primary point of greenlighting, and as you can see in this particular approved concept approval form, by clicking on the Release Status tab, you can see a historical view of everyone who has approved this form. We create the CAF by selecting the channel, then category, and we also select what kind of content it is. For example, let's select the type of content as program. Then we look at the content which is created by default into the master and select one of them. This is linked to the MPM. The nature of the content is important because it in-house flows into the financials of the deal memo at a later point in time. On the content approval form detail screen, we can customize fields. They can be editable, display only, or mandatory. The fields shown here are the best practice fields, which can be changed according to customer needs. So let's go ahead and enter in the producer, ex-producer, genre, subgenre, subtype, etc. And the number of episodes, budget, and currency are important, as well as the average duration. It is important to note here that the deal memo and the CAF are fully integrated with the Media Product Master, or the MPM, but the product was developed such that it can also work without the MPM as well. Once the field has been populated, you can see it generates a CAF number. Now, under the Concept tab, we can add in more information for concept and synopsis. As you can see, helpful web add-ons such as Grammarly can be used as well. After saving, we go to the Schedule and Viewership Rating tab. By clicking on the Enter Schedule Details button, we can tentatively schedule the show. We will add in the time it starts and duration. And just to note, the average duration and the actual duration can be different. Then the TRP field is for television rating points, which are estimates. Once these details have been saved, we can also add in comments and attachments if needed. And finally, we can submit the CAF for approval. The default workflow is configurable to a high degree in the Content Financials solution. The default release strategy for the CAF and the deal memo can be found in the Release Status tab of CAF or the deal memo. In this example, we can see the same here. Additionally, note that the configuration can be done in the following two paths. On the content configuration side, we have three tools to configure the workflow. Firstly, Release Strategy Assignment. Release Strategy Assignment allows multiple steps which can be assigned for approvals. As can be seen in the configuration screen below, multiple steps can be configured for a single release strategy. Additionally, multiple position IDs can be configured in another screen. These position IDs can have many relationships with the approval steps. The user groups are an easy way to group users, and roles can be used for grouping the users as well. Then, the validity from and the validity to columns ensure that in case an approval rule is updated, earlier CAFs and deal memos are not affected, and audit log is maintained with the customization for future reference. The amount from and the amount to give the range of values for approval. Any value higher than these is pushed higher in the approver sequence. The approver sequence and the rejection sequence allows the ability to decide the sequence and options for each step. Secondly, the position master for content financials allows each position ID to be tagged with the type of input. This allows for a position to either edit or approve the business document, i.e. the CAF, deal memo, or contract after submission and during the approval workflow. Approval required means the user has the ability to approve or reject, and inputs required means the user has the ability to complete or edit the document. Finally, the derived release strategy for content financials gives the advantage of using various release strategies for various documents in content financials. Out of the box, we support the transaction for CAF, deal memo, and vendor contracts. Additionally, each channel, content type, and content nature can have different release groups and different release strategies assigned. Here we see the same release group used for simplicity, but we could have as many as required by the channels. Finally, we could utilize existing strategies used for purchase requisitions, purchase orders, service acceptance sheets, and reservations. The release class can give further fine-tuning of the workflow. Lastly, we ensure the workflow settings also leverage the latest innovation for SAP used in S/4HANA while being completely compatible with SAP ECC as well. The Deal Memo app can be accessed by opening the Deal Memo tile. On opening the app, we get a list of deals created earlier in various statuses. To create a deal memo, click on the plus icon, then select whether the deal needs to be created with reference to a concept approval form. In the case of a fresh deal memo, the channel needs to be selected with category, content type, and content name, and the nature of the content. Under Details, we will fill in the content objective, subtype, and other fields with the average duration. These fields can also be configured as optional and mandatory. So let's go ahead and fill in the percentage of asset value to amortize with the estimated release date and the cost of deal memo with the required currency. Once the validations have been run and it has been saved, the next tab will appear. Now click on the Budget Detail tab to fill in the overall budget for the particular deal memo. The budget placeholders are customizable based on the nature of the content type. In this case, since the content type is in-house, we can fill external costs for talent, travel costs, and in the section below, post-production costs for editing. After saving, view the episode details, which show the overall cost broken down by episodes. In case we need to change the cost per episode, we can click on the Change Episode button or click on the Episode Details to update the television rating points or TRP. This is optional, and we can click on the Back button to go back to the Deal Memo screen to save the updates and to the schedule and viewership ratings. Here we fill in the schedule time for the episode, the duration, and the days planned for the episodes. Here note that clicking on the Save button will trigger the validation to fill in the estimated TRP. When we fill in the TRP here, it is utilized for calculations of the estimated P&L sheet, so it is important to fill in this value. Once saved, the Revenue tab is activated. We fill in the average broadcast revenue per 30 minutes and the total other revenue. After saving, we fill in the estimated marketing budget to get the program P&L. The Program P&L tab gives the balance of costs and revenues for the program as well as based on the estimated ratings. To create a talent contract, choose the Talent Crew Contract tab and click on the Create Talent Crew Contract button. Note that this is only possible if there are external costs associated with the deal memo and the values are less than the estimated talent costs in the Budget tab. We can first select the supplier and then the role for talent. Then we select the episodes and enter the costs and tax code. In case the value is not selected earlier, the same can be done again by clicking on the Select Episode button. But validations apply, so fill out the cost per episode as well. Finally, we can save the episode data to process the next tab. Continuing creation on the talent contract, we have to fill in the Episode Payment Details tab, where we select the milestones. The milestones are points of time when the payment for the talent will be released. In this case, we select 5 milestones. Then for each milestone, we select the payment terms. Here we select Pay Immediately, but for the last option, we select Pay after 15 days. Either percentage or the expected amount to be paid can be entered. Here we are putting in the percentage values. We have the option of putting in the estimated dates when the milestones will be achieved. In this example, we are putting in the dates according to the milestone chosen. The advance date is the earliest, then content initiation date, and so on. Now the talent contract is created, a number is assigned to it. Finally, we go back to the deal memo where we have the option to add comments and attachments as well. We can click the Submit button to complete the deal memo and send it for approvals. For procurement teams, when service is received from the service vendor, a service entry sheet needs to be created against the purchase order for which the service has been received. This is at times repetitive and a time-consuming activity. The Mass SRN posting app is a way by which this process is automated using Content Financials. The authorized person shall accept multiple service entry sheets using the app at one time. The Mass SRN posting app allows the entire content to be serviced in a single screen. The user will select the channel, content name, episodes, milestone code, posting date, document date, and the type of contract first. All service entry sheets which can be posted are then displayed to the end user in a tabular form. The user has the option to review the selection before committing the values. Once saved, the material documents will be created in the SAP system automatically and update the purchase order history as well. Milestone is an object created in the content solution to define the type of milestones. The milestone codes can be configured in SAP by the accountants as per the requirement. The milestone will be maintained episode-wise in the vendor contract, along with the payment terms and milestone amount to be paid on the achievement of the milestones. The app will automate the mass creation of invoices against a contract. The finance team will update the milestone in the system using the Milestone Achievement app. The user will select the channel, content name, episodes, milestone codes, milestone date, and the type of contract first. Note that the payment terms will be agreed upon with the production house while the contract is signed. Based on these terms, the amounts and dates are calculated and shown in the tabular form. The user has the option to review the selection before committing the values. When saved, it will trigger invoicing entries to be created into the system for various milestones. For the AP Accountant, the FundFlow app will be an important function. To begin, click on the FundFlow app button and select the channel and program for which you want to see the fund flow, as well as a specific date. This can be past, present, or future. Click Next, and select the list of contracts for which the funds are to be described. As you will see, you will get a list of contracts with the milestones and amounts which are due for that date.